What's that, Gabe? It's UTX Untamed Rush here, and I'm back with some Medal of Honor. This is like a part 2 to that first video. The first one's obviously like a first impressions after a couple of games, and this is kind of like a overall impressions to the game. And I mean, it's obviously really late. The game's been out for 2 years already, but I'm new to the game and really enjoying this game. The kill cam thing, it could be an issue. I just feel like it's not as bad as I was thinking. It becomes a real problem when you're going up against snipers, especially if you don't know where they're shooting from. You never see where you're getting hit from, and it does promote camping a little bit as far as people sitting in the corner. But you have to kind of play the game that way. You're gonna see me like I end up having to keep going behind that wall there and just holding that down until we finally get them out there, out of there enough to push in and flip the spawn. But even then, they're still kind of like spawning around me in that area, because I'm like the only guy in there at one point. So, but so I think maybe if they did kill cams, like if you die from the same guy twice in a row or 3 times, I think like after you haven't moved from a certain spot and gotten a certain kills in a certain spot, I feel like a kill cam should be enabled for that player. I think that would help the game a lot. But this game, they did a really good job. They introduced a lot of good concepts to the game. As far as a game with kill streaks go, like a competitor to Call of Duty. And I'm really looking forward to the second part to this game, Medal of Honor 2. I'm really looking forward to just to see what they're gonna come up with. Frost, and that's another thing. Like, they, to me, got more out of the Frostbite 2 engine. I mean, the Frostbite engine, the first one, than in Bad Company 2. I don't know if that has to do with the smaller maps, not as much vehicles. I don't know, but whatever they did, you could see that they got a lot more graphics out of the Frostbite 2 engine. Obviously there's no destruction, that's another thing. So I'm pretty sure that all those things play a big part in how the engine works and where you could basically boost up graphics and things like that. But just really looking forward to what they got in the future, because everything has a balance. The classes, the rifleman, the assault rifle class, it doesn't have frags, it has smoke grenades. Even though it does have I don't know how this guy doesn't see me, but it doesn't have smoke grenades, but it has noob tubes, and this class has frag grenades, but it has rocket launchers. And everything has its own thing, and you kind of need all 3 at one point or another. I was playing this one game type today, man, and I'll tell you that game type was like really good, and it's something new. It's really not new. It has like elements of other games, like Rush, but it's called Combat Mission, and it's like time trials in the multiplayer. Now you get 5 objectives, and for every objective you go, it's like it's time trial. So the one team goes first, and you got to defend them and keep. Oh, give me that Mayweather 2-piece. And real quick before I get back to the combat mission, you see the kill streak on the bottom. You get 1 assault, 1 support. And me, I didn't know what this kill streak did, so I called it in, and I didn't realize that I had to fly it in. It's basically a predator, so I ended up dying. I probably could have gone on a pretty long streak there, but back to the, and then you have support. Like, you have an assault and you have support. So they did a real good job as far as mixing it up with assault and support kill streaks. And you still have to earn them. And I'm gonna give them to you just because you're supposedly playing the objective, but meanwhile you don't even need to play the objective to get these kill streaks. And I'm speaking about Call of Duty. I hate to compare the two, but you have to. Especially when you have 2 companies that are kind of competing, but not really, because Battlefield and Call of Duty are 2 completely different games, but these 2 games are similar. So you could compare these 2. There's kill streaks in this game and things like that. So you get support, and it works this way. From what I've noticed from the kill streaks that I've gotten, and I've gotten to notice, you get mortar strike. You get mortar strike or UAV. Then you get another rocket strike or a match ammo, which is basically max ammo. And then you get, on that last kill streak, I got a missile strike, or I could have gave my team flak vest, which is obviously flak jackets. Like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's great, you know? As you go, you get these support streaks. So, back to the combat mission. So, the combat mission was, you know, you got 2 teams, and there's vehicles too in those game types. You know, they have tanks. Really not. It's kind of like, it kind of looked like World at War tanks. Like, that's how they look like they moved. So you have that, and you got objectives, and then there's one where you got to plant the bomb, so it's like a rush. And then there's another one where you got to defend an objective, and then you got to take it from that team. You know, like, if, you know, the one team's defending it, and then you got to go in there and take it. And it's kind of like headquarters, you know. So it has that aspect, and it was fun, man, because it was just like, you got to beat the other team's time. So you got to set a time, and then the other team has to come in and beat that time. And if they don't beat it, like, for every objective they beat, and they get lives as well, but they got to beat the time. That's the main objective. So when they beat the time, they'll move on to the next one. Then they move on to the next one. But if they finally get to the objective and they don't beat your time, game's over. And I thought that was just like a great concept to a game type. It promotes movement, and it promotes action. You know, you constantly gotta fight. You know, you're fighting and going back and forth. So I thought it was really good, man. A really good concept. They did a really good job with that, and I just have high expectations for this game in the future. And today there was actually, and I finished the game right there. I got that last 2 piece, and so you see there, you get total of kills, and you get like support actions. Support actions are like UAVs, calling UAVs and things like that. I don't know what else is called. Assist, I believe, is called a support action. But that's basically it. Today there was almost 700 people online, so that's not bad. And until next time, I'm out. Peace.